This news update is brought to you by
This is the 7 a.m. Barbados Today update. It's Wednesday, August 13th, 2014. Good morning, I'm Carol Williams. Barbados should follow Trinidad and Tobago and apply term limits to prime ministers. That's the recommendation of political scientist Peter Wickham, who also agrees with Port of Spain's decision to have a system to recall legislators who fail to perform and hold a runoff election if a successful candidate fails to secure 50% of the votes cast. Wickham says the changes are good for democracy.
I definitely think that it is the change that is needed in all Caribbean countries. Bear in mind, the only country that has term limits in place now is Ghana. Trinidad will now become the second, and I think it does indicate where all of the Caribbean countries need to be going in terms of limiting the powers of the Prime Minister. So all the proposals, the recall proposal, the 50% requirement, the runoff proposal, all of them to me reflect developments in democracy that we ought to look to.
However, another political scientist is taking issue with the proposal to have a runoff. Jamaican professor Neville Duncan says this may not work in the region. He's instead suggesting that constituents, rather than a party executive, be allowed to nominate representatives to contest general elections. On to other news now. The ruling Democratic Labour Party is denying making overtures to former Prime Minister Owen Arthur following his resignation from the Barbados Labour Party several weeks ago. DLP General Secretary Donville Innes is insisting that neither Arthur nor the ruling party is interested in joining forces.
If Mr. Arthur wishes to join the Democratic Labour Party as his parliamentary representative, I'm happy to give him an application form to join the party. But it will be treated like any other one. It will have to go through a process. I don't think Mr. Arthur is interested in that anyhow, nor are we interested per se. Look, Mr. Arthur has been a political enemy of this party for many, many years. That does not go away overnight.
Arthur could not be reached for comment. Health authorities are mulling a proposal to set up a Centre of Excellence at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital to treat and prevent below-the-belt cancers. The announcement comes from gynecological oncologist Dr. Vikas Chatrani, who's also clinical director of the Barbados Cancer Society. He says consideration is also being given to the establishment of a gynecology cancer and prevention unit that will specialize in cancer care and preventative care at the QEH. Speaking at a press conference to announce the Sagicor Globathon 2014, Dr. Chatrani explained that the hospital currently lacks dedicated surgery time for cancer patients.
We actually have patients who are booked for surgery 1 year in advance, for benign surgery, for fibroids and those sort of things. And we end up having to push them back. And these are women who have taken time off from work. Relatives have come from overseas to help them in their aftercare, and we're having to tell them we're sorry. You know, we have an emergency case, a lady with cancer, we're going to try and do it the following week. And we literally juggle. Dr. Welch and myself sit down there, we try to juggle to see how best we can get this cancer patient, but still not disadvantaged. And it's been challenging. But unfortunately, the administration is looking into it to see how they can get their best to give us a dedicated operative theatre that we can do cancer cases.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Catch the sun power.
Over now to Jamaica, where 3 police personnel have been indicted and another 3 suspended with immediate effect in connection with the beating death of a 31-year-old man. The police high command says 2 police corporals and a constable have been indicted, while 3 district constables have been suspended. The cops were on duty when Mario Dean was allegedly beaten by inmates in his cell. They'll only receive 3/4 of their pay and remain off the job pending further investigations. Internationally, U.S. President Barack Obama has appealed for calm in Ferguson, Missouri, after 2 nights of violence sparked by the shooting of a black teenager by police. He described the death as heartbreaking. Civil rights activist Reverend Al Sharpton also appealed for calm.
Don't be so angry. Don't be so angry that you distort the image of who his mother and father told us he was. The story around this nation has been an unarmed young gentleman was taken from us on the weekend he was going to school. Some of us are making the story how mad we are rather than how promising he was. Don't be a traitor to Michael Brown.
And that brings us to the end of our 7 a.m. Barbados Today update. We'll be back again at noon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and email updates, or better yet, like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you for the latest news and sports. I'm Carol Williams. Have a wonderful day.
This news update is brought to you by